Breaking news, everyone. Nate Silver has just come out with a brand new prediction poll. And this is an interesting one to watch. By the way, subscribe, share, like, comment, all that good stuff. I want to pull this up. As I said, we were just remaking them. Here, let me show you the old one. This is the old one, guys. This is what I thought we were going to be talking about today. But what do you know? So the old one, mind you, was pretty darn good. If you look at this, this just came out yesterday. This is September 5th, 60.1 to Harris's 39.7. But guess what? Lo and behold, it's like every single day. You want to talk momentum? I'll tell you, the momentum is with Donald Trump at this moment in time. Let's go to the newest poll that just came out, the prediction model, I should say, because it takes into effect various things, and we'll go through it. But here we have this that came out. We're looking at, oh my gosh, this is incredible. 61.5% to 38.3. Wow. So Nate has a really interesting model. I like his model, guys, because Nate is looking at it almost like a financial analyst would, right? He's not just saying, okay, I'm going to look at the polls, or I'm going to take the aggregate of the polls, and we can go through those because I have those numbers for you too, and it's super, super tight in those. But he's saying, let me advance this a little bit. Let me try and actually take in other things into consideration. And the reason why she apparently keeps moving up in this prediction poll is because, one, she didn't get any bounce out of the whole DNC event. Typically, you'd have a candidate who would get a little bit of a bounce. She didn't get that. I think because, America just hasn't seen enough of her, doesn't really understand her, doesn't really believe that she can do anything different than she did with Joe Biden. But the other reason is because of her lack of success thus far in Pennsylvania. She really has not been able to win any polls in Pennsylvania. So here we are. We're looking at Nate's new model. Look at that divergence. Oh my gosh. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, I thank you for that. And I would love it if you would go and give me 5 stars and a very nice review. Same thing over on Spotify. If you're listening, that's so wonderful. If you're watching live on the YouTube channel, that's awesome. It's great to have you here. Make sure you subscribe. And I'm blown away by this graphic. I mentioned that again, just for the audio listeners only, because it's like a giant V now. It's like right back to where we were before Biden went down in flames. Before they knocked off Biden, Harris looked like she had no chance in HELL of ever winning this thing. And she's nearly back to that point. Again, Trump at 65.1%, Kamala Harris 38.3%. So she's praying for a miracle, right? I think Kamala Harris is suddenly getting kind of religious, shall we say. Let's dig a little deeper into these poll numbers, because I want to show you what's going on in these battleground states. Remember, Nate is looking at something a little bit different, right? He's got other things that he's factoring in. Why? Because it's so darn hard to get a read on people, especially when it comes to Donald Trump. Because a lot of people don't really want to say, hey, yeah, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. They just feel uncomfortable about it. The media has ensured that they will feel uncomfortable about it. And so consequently, you really can't get the kind of read that you need. So Nate, in an interest of trying to be right here, is really trying to come up with a new way to model this stuff. But let's take a look at the battleground states. So for example, if we look at these are the real clear polling averages. You see it's pretty darn tight, right? So he's ahead in Arizona. He's ahead in North Carolina. They look to be tied in Pennsylvania. I've seen a lot of polls showing that he's actually moving ahead in Pennsylvania. But again, this is amazing. I mean, it's amazing when you consider how heavily the media has promoted her. I mean, how much have we heard about how wonderful she is and how great, and this will be so cool. Well, Americans, I think they're just wise to it. I think that they're like, well, wait a second. My groceries were a lot cheaper under Donald Trump. My gas prices were a whole lot cheaper under Donald Trump. I was able to kind of make more money, right? Have more disposable income. Under Donald Trump, I felt more secure in my foundation, in my future. And by the way, we weren't dealing with the border things. I mean, that's an abomination, frankly. I mean, you're talking about a lot of people that have come into this country and are continuing to come into this country undocumented. So consequently, this is why you're seeing this massive reaction. Now, I haven't seen the very latest on the betting markets, so this is as of this morning. You still saw that the betting markets were putting their money on Donald Trump. A Donald Trump win, 50.8 overall to 47.7. Polymarket and BWin kind of out in front there, showing that they really think Donald Trump is in the lead. I mean, Betfair as well. Look at that 5-point spread, you guys. I mean, Predict It has been the only one to really suggest that Kamala Harris is in the lead. There are a lot of people that like Polymarket better because they think it's a more accurate representation. It has newer technology, etc. But this is amazing. I mean, it's amazing. I say it's amazing because consider the fanfare, consider the red carpet treatment. I mean, you got George Clooney on board, right? Like, how is she possibly going to lose this? When all these fancy schmancy people are like, we love her, we love her, we love her. And you've got MSNBC and CNN and the New York Times and the Washington Post all in your corner, willing to take arrows for you, right? And yet this is all she's got to show for it? Really? Again, the new number, 61.5%. Nate Silver predicting the chance of Donald Trump winning. It is amazing, absolutely amazing in light of how she has been treated. But I'll tell you, it's because Americans are wise to it, right? I think they're really, really wise to it. And they're looking for more from her.